This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. October 10th is World Mental Health Day, and this year we are saying thank you to therapists. BetterHelp therapists have helped over 5 million people worldwide on their mental health journeys. That's millions of stories and millions of journeys. Behind each one of them is a therapist who showed up, listened, and helped someone take that next step forward. Moments in therapy, like asking the right questions, having a safe place to get emotional or cry, or small wins, they can change lives. This World Mental Health Day, BetterHelp is honoring those connections and the therapists who make them possible while showing how easy it is to get guidance from a licensed therapist online with BetterHelp. I've been doing therapy for over 2 years and I couldn't recommend it enough. It's helped me so much with relationships with my friends, families, even myself. It's helped me understand myself better, and it's just made for such a better life. It really has. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. And it works with an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 for live sessions based on over 1.7 million client reviews. This World Mental Health Day, we are collaborating with those therapists who have helped millions of people take a step forward. If you're ready to find the right therapist for you, BetterHelp can help you start that journey. Our listeners get 10% off of their first month at BetterHelp.com/PFF. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/PFF. The Green Bay Packers traveling to Arizona to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Not sure what Kyler Murray's status is for this game. I haven't read anything. Obviously, we're recording this on a Wednesday. I haven't read anything that says definitively, like, yeah, he's 100% going to practice. Like, I think Jonathan Gannon said himself, like, Kyler will play when he's ready to play. All right, well, thanks. It doesn't help us. But let's say that Jacoby Brissett starts this game again this week. You want to start talking about the Packers? You want to talk about the Cardinals?
We go on the Packers' offensive side. I mean, I know there's a lot of mystery to the Cardinals' offense right now. I will say that Jacoby Brissett, in rhythm, I thought threw the ball pretty well last week against the Colts. It gave them a chance to win. They were about 8 yards from winning that game, and just didn't get it done at the end of it. Their defense didn't play well enough. And look, I think this Packers' offense for me, and I love the approach that they had last week against Cincinnati. Could they have gone out there and just slung it all over the place and maybe tried to put up 45 points on the Bengals? Maybe they could have tried to. But I think at the end of the day, for as much as Packers fans, they're waiting for people like us to start calling Jordan Love a lead, and they want to see Matthew Golden hit more home runs and the downfield throwing and all. This offense starts with Josh Jacobs. No matter what you think of anybody else on the team. And I love Golden, and Romeo Doubs is playing great. Tucker Kraft is great. Jordan Love, obviously, at times up and down, but he's mostly really good. But it starts with Josh Jacobs, and it starts with what he gives you in the run game. And then, again, we've talked about this three-layered approach with the Packers. Running the football, winning down low, winning with Jordan Love in the intermediate range, and then you start to open up the home runs with Matthew Golden down the field. If they get all three of those layers going, they're one of the best offenses in football, if not at times the best offense in football. But it starts with Jacobs, who is 6th in the league in rushing grade. He's 2nd in receiving grade. What he's given him as a pass catcher right now has been outstanding. The Cardinals, these are two things they're struggling with. They have the 3rd worst run defense grade in the league right now. I just think their interior, the defensive line, they don't have a lot of depth beyond Calais Campbell. And the linebackers are something I've been concerned about with the preseason. 3rd worst run defense grade in the NFL, 28th in coverage grade against running backs. There is a chance for Josh Jacobs to have another massive week, and I think that should always be, no matter how much we like Jordan Love and how hot he can get and the receivers and all the weapons on the outside. Step 1 in this offense is Josh Jacobs getting me 5-6 yards on first down. If that happens, everything else for everybody else on this offense gets so much easier. I think that's the formula again this week.
Yeah, I think that you're right that the offense, it felt like, was operating a little bit more efficiently last week than what we have seen from the Cardinals, and that could be a part of the game plan, right? I mean, when Kyler Murray's in there, he's got the ability to really stretch the ball deep down the field, so you're probably game planning more of those shots anyway. So when you see a little bit more of a methodical passing game plan, it's not just, oh, Kyler Murray sucks, he couldn't operate this game plan. It's a little bit different, right? I think Jacoby Brissett's, the game plan for him is going to be a little bit more methodical, so you're going to see that. But he was able to execute it pretty well. I'm still worried about this run game. I talked about in the early parts of the season, I was worried about their run blocking anyways. The lack of impact run blocking plays that they had from their interior offensive linemen, I think that still exists with Trey Benson and James Conner out, so it doesn't help that those guys are out of the game. But specifically, I wanted to actually go back to the other side of the ball, because I think the Cardinals can work things on offense to get around 20 points in this game. But scoring more than the Packers, I think, will come down to something that you brought up on the Monday show that I really like that point. When I was talking about Matthew Golden and talking about how much of a big game hunter Jordan Love is, especially on third down, how he had a couple of 20-plus yard throws to Matthew Golden on third down. And I was like, well, is he going to get that every single week? And you pointed out, like, hey, he might not get that every single week, but now that he has the element to do so, some weeks it might be a Matthew Golden week deep down the field. Some weeks it might be a little bit underneath or over the intermediate with Tucker Kraft or Romeo Doubs or whoever it is. So I wanted to look this up from the Cardinals and how they have defended the three levels of the field when it comes to how vertical that you get as a passer. 0 to 9 yards past the line of scrimmage, the Cardinals have allowed a 79.8% completion percentage. That's 19th in the NFL. So not the best, second half of the league there. The intermediate, 10 to 19 yards down the field, 48.2 completion percentage. They're actually defending that decently well. They are sixth best in the NFL when it comes to completion percentage in that area. And then 20 plus yards down the field, 40.0% completion percentage. That is 14th in the NFL. So I wonder if it is, to your point, just more of a, hey, Jordan Love, you're going to have things underneath. Take him this game. You're going to have things from 0 to 10 yards down the field. You're going to have Romeo Doubs quick. You're going to have Tucker Kraft quick. It's going to be a yards after the catch type of a game because that's where the Cardinals have really struggled. They've been a team that wants to keep things in front of them. They don't want to get beat over the top. They don't want to get beat deep. Is Jordan Love willing to take those underneath plays? And if so, I think it could be a big day from Tucker Kraft and Romeo Doubs. Ultimately, I do think that the Packers get it done here. I'm going to say 28-21, but I think this game is decently competitive, especially if Love maybe has any variance or inconsistencies at all whatsoever. So I'll go 28-21 with the Packers winning this game on the road.
Yeah, I'm with you. Similar score. I have it 27-20 Packers. And again, I think this is the week where what you want to look for from the Cardinals, and it's a good group of safeties they have back there, what you want to look for is how often in neutral situations are they staying in too high. They play more quarters than just about any team in football. I think actually it might be the highest rate in football that they play quarters that cover 4 look on the back end. That's the Matthew Golden effect. How often do they stay back there in too high looks with respect to Matthew Golden, and how do the Packers respond to it? Do they run the football against too high as they should? Does Jordan Love throw it underneath like you mentioned and let these guys work after the catch? And then if the Cardinals make an adjustment, let's say Josh Jacobs is running the ball, if they make an adjustment and they go single high or rotate down into something, then is that the one home run shot to Matthew Golden that really puts this game away? I think the balance of safeties is something I'm always looking for against this Packers offense. I like them in this game. I think the Cardinals, there's too many areas of their team right now where they're playing below average football. And I think especially on defense at linebacker and again at defensive tackle, I think Jacobs has a chance to have a huge game and then the Packers can work right off it again.
There's just too many things that feel like on paper they line up for the Packers to have a more explosive day on offense. And I feel like they're going to get a couple of those plays more than what the Cardinals are. And some of that's due to injury, and that obviously sucks for Arizona's side of things. But I do agree with you. I think the Packers are winning in this one.